Today on Rappler. Two lawmakers file a petition to the Supreme Court to declare unprogrammed appropriations as unconstitutional. Fact check, US President Donald Trump has not made a statement pushing the ICC for the release of Rodrigo Duterte. A US immigration agent shot and killed a 37-year-old woman in Minneapolis claiming self-defense. The United States withdraws from international and UN entities. And Eala advances to the ASB Classic quarterfinals as she beats Petra Marcinko. Two lawmakers file a Supreme Court petition to strike down the unprogrammed appropriations in the 2026 national budget. Caloocan 2nd District Representative Edgar Erice and Mamamayang Liberal Representative Eala de Lima argue the provision violates the Constitution and gives the executive branch excessive discretion over public funds. Their petition comes amid scrutiny of unprogrammed appropriations which were previously used to fund anomalous flood control projects. UAs are designed as a standby spending authority that may only be used when government revenues exceed targets or when additional foreign grants and loans become available. The petitioners argue Congress overstepped constitutional limits by including what they described as massive, unsupported, unprogrammed items in the 2026 budget. Under the 2026 General Appropriations Act, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. approved 150.9 billion pesos for unprogrammed appropriations. Marcos says the 2026 UA is at the bare minimum and the lowest since 2019. Here's a fact check from Rappler. US President Donald Trump has not made a statement on securing former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte's release from the ICC. The claim originates from a fake quote card that has been circulating on Facebook. As of writing, one version of the post has garnered more than 100,000 reactions, 7,600 comments, and 6,200 shares since it was posted on Monday, January 5. Another Facebook account with over 41,000 followers also made a commentary reel of the quote card. In the video, the person claims the quote from Trump was, quote, 100% legit. There is no verified public record of Trump declaring that he would push for Duterte's release from the ICC. A US immigration agent shot and killed a 37-year-old woman in her car in Minneapolis on Wednesday, January 7. The shooting is the latest violent incident during US President Donald Trump's nationwide crackdown on migrants. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey adamantly rejects the Trump administration's assertion that the agent fired in self-defense. He adds a video of the shooting directly contradicts what he calls the government's, quote, garbage narrative. The shooting drew hundreds of protesters near the scene. They were met by heavily armed federal agents who also fired chemical irritants. United States President Donald Trump says the country would withdraw from dozens of international and UN entities because they, quote, operate contrary to US national interests. This includes a key climate treaty and a UN body that promotes gender equality and women's empowerment. Among the 35 non-UN groups and 31 UN entities Trump listed in a memo to senior officials is the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. It is described by many as the bedrock climate treaty, which is the parent agreement to the 2025 Paris Climate Deal. Natural Resources Defense Council President and CEO Manish Bapna says the US would be the first country to walk away from the UNCCC. The US also skipped the annual UN Climate Summit last year for the first time in 30 years. Filipino tennis star Eala starts her 2026 strongly as she advances to the ASB Classic quarterfinals in Auckland, New Zealand with a dominant 6-0, 6-2 win over Petra Marcinko on Thursday, January 8. This marks the first time the Filipino reached the last 8 of a WTA Tour event after early exits in her previous 4 tournaments last year. Eala needed 2 hours and 40 minutes to defeat Vekic, but took just over an hour to beat world number 82 Petra Marcinko. Eala will face Poland's Magdalena next. And that's today's wrap. I'm Julian Cirineo. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. For more updates, download the Rappler Communities app.